Hi guys, so we've been doing biodiversity, right? So we discussed different kinds of biodiversity, we discussed the problems we are facing with biodiversity. So today, it is obvious that conservation of biodiversity is imminent. हमको करना ही पड़ेगा. We have to conserve biodiversity because species are going extinct. On this note, I think you guys know that one species that had gone extinct a long time ago, the dire wolves, have been recreated by using their genetic information from fossil evidences. So the genes were taken and they were utilized to make a new, to make new dire wolves, and now we have 5-month-old dire wolves in existence. So extinct organisms have been brought back. That being said, what are the methods of conservation? So there are 3 broad ideas based on which conservation takes place. They are called the theories of conservation. So there are 3 theories, and they are the narrowly utilitarian, the broadly utilitarian, and the ethical ones. Now, what is utilitarian? It is based on the utilities that we have of the biodiversity and the ecosystem, the natural world in general. So some economic utilities include things like the food that we get, the medicinal properties that we get, the timber, wood for fuel as well as for construction, and then there is something called bioprospecting. So bioprospecting is looking into biodiversity to get genetic information or genetic tissue culture, using tissue culture or cell biology and genetics, biotechnology in such a way so that we can use them for genetic improvements, for genetic studies, right? So that is bioprospecting, which is looking into the world of life to better utilize biotechnology. Now, the narrowly utilitarian mentality says that nature is for use of humans, and therefore we will use the utilities that nature provides to us to the best of our capacities without depleting them. Okay, so in this thought process, the problem lies with the fact that we overlook sustainability. We tend to not think about the fact that when we are over exploiting, it usually leads to over exploitation, and due to over exploitation, we are depleting the resources at hand, and therefore future generations will find it difficult to survive on earth as well as we did. So that is narrowly utilitarian mindset. Now the broadly utilitarian mindset says that yes, we do have the right to utilize nature's resources, but the focus on this is to protect nature and its substances to be able to look at sustainability so that we can use, as well as our future generations to come, can also keep taking utilization out of nature's resources, right? So in this, we look into the general benefits and ecosystem services. So for example, narrowly utilitarian says that utilities include only utilities which have direct economic benefits, right? So something that you can immediately sell and get economic benefits from. But broadly utilitarian also takes into consideration the ecosystem services. For example, O2 CO2 recycling, water cycle, right? The aesthetic element that nature brings, okay? Gene diversity, okay? Climate, impact on climate. So all of these are not direct economic benefits that we derive from nature, but they are equally important for the sustenance of organisms, for living organisms, humans in this case, right? So now all of these things fall under ecosystem services. So broadly utilitarian says that yes, we should keep taking economic utilizing the economic benefits, the direct economic benefits that we can get from nature. But we also have to keep in mind that other than the economic benefits, there are certain ecosystem services which are equally important, and for those ecosystem services to keep on going so that there is sustainability, so that earth stays habitable for humans in future, we have to be careful about overexploitation, right? Whereas the ethical, which is the most easy to understand, it says that all living organisms have equal rights to the resources of nature, and therefore humans should learn to balance their needs as compared to depletion of nature, as compared to the intrinsic value of nature, the value that nature adds to the lives of all living organisms. You can't say that, yes, because wood is important for us, we will clear forests one after the other for humanitarian uses, because then you not only sacrifice the ecosystem services, but you also end up taking away habitats from lots of other organisms, right? So human needs are then overpowering the basic intrinsic value of nature, where all biodiversity has equal rights to thrive and grow. So therefore, a very good example would be an example of the Amazon forests, right? They are tropical forests which are habitat to thousands of species. Now, when we are clearing of the Amazon forest for wood, for medicine, for encroachment of land, whatever be it, we are not only destroying habitats, but we are majorly hampering the water cycle, because they contribute a lot to the total precipitation and the O2 CO2 balance. And therefore, in that kind of a situation, what we are doing is we are not only degrading our quality of life, because we are causing immediate impacts by changing the ecosystem services, but we are also hampering the lives of all other organisms that have habitat in that Amazon forest. So ethical method says that it's not only, you just don't do it because of the economic benefits that you have and you want to keep having it, or the ecological services that you have and you want to not let the sustenance of life or the quality of life degrade for your future human generations, but in general for all living organisms, for biodiversity as a whole, it is important to conserve nature and biodiversity. I hope these three methods were clear. We will be discussing in details the kind of mechanisms we have used over the years for conservation of nature, and then we will be done with biodiversity. So I hope this chapter is going well with you guys. You have exams coming up, so keep preparing. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comments. Thank you.